So this is the start of my second channel that doesn't completely revolve around skateboarding. In fact, it's probably not going to revolve around skateboarding very much at all. What it is going to revolve around is something that I have no idea. I'm just going to start moving some stuff around, see what I like doing, see what I don't like doing, and most importantly, see what people like watching. Am I probably going to do what every other skateboarding YouTuber has done in the past year, where I start a second channel and then retreat back to my original channel because my second channel bombs? Probably, yeah. It's pretty hard to step outside of a realm that you have so niche and know so much about and have the advantage of like, hey, I'm pretty skilled at this thing and I have all this information, all my friends are really good at this activity. Let me branch out into a world that I don't know, but that's what I want to do. And I'm not doing that because I'm bored or because I want more money. It sounds fun. It sounds like it'd be cool to try to do something else, and if it doesn't work out, cool. But I am going to talk about something that I do know something about, which is a byproduct of doing the skateboarding YouTube thing, and that's becoming somewhat of an influencer. My other channel has, it's over 50,000 subscribers. I make a decent living off of it too. I mean, my channel's in this different kind of spot where I have a lot of friends who have way more subscribers than me, but my channel tends to get more views per month on average. In some cases, a lot more than people who have a lot more subscribers than me. So I feel like I'm onto something. I feel like I have a decent understanding of what it takes and what it doesn't take. So I'm just going to go over that and help you maybe decide whether you could do it. The first easy and obvious thing to look at is how comfortable you are being absolutely yourself. Because if you put on a facade on whatever social media it is, people are going to see right through it. And in some cases, especially in the TikTok world, you can get away with that. That's totally fine. But I think if you're trying to have like a more long-lasting career, it is always best and easier to make it revolve around who you actually are. Otherwise, you're going to be more of an actor than an influencer, and that sounds like work. And you don't want to work. You want to be an influencer where you just go about your day-to-day and get paid for it. Now, let's just get this out of the way really quick. When I say being an influencer, that doesn't mean that you're going to make a YouTube channel that is super niche about information on how to build battle bots or something like that. Obviously, for that, people go to those for information. I'm talking you're making money based on your personality and your ability to talk, or people watching you experience blah blah blah, or you feel that you are entertaining enough that people are going to want to watch it because for whatever reason in the past however many years, 5 or 10 years, people just decided to stop paying as much attention to celebrities as they do random ass people who put themselves on the internet, maybe because it's more relatable, and the people who are slightly more entertaining than the others actually get views and can make a living off of it. So I guess shout out to reality TV for bridging that gap. One of the things that you can really look at whether you like have it or not is your confidence and comfortability. I think that's like the number one thing that you need. Like, you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to be out in public and just like have people, have person around and just like talk comfortably. Now, being an influencer is the exact same thing as every other job or skill or occupation that you could ever have. Everyone can't do it. Some people just like, have a bit of an advantage. So if you're like well-spoken, and you can probably tell by how your friends interact with you, or you're good at carrying conversations, or you're pretty sociable, even if you're introverted, but when it comes to social situations, you tend to do very well, then that's probably an advantage. I'm not saying that if you are not good at, having interactions with people, you can't do it. It just means that it's gonna be more work for you because you're actually gonna have to write more of a script type YouTube video or Instagram or TikTok, which would be a lot easier because it's shorter form content. But regardless, you'd have to really write out, and it just takes a lot more work. So if you can't just shoot from the hip, this is gonna be more of a job for you than you're probably expecting, because there's some work. Because yes, some people luck out and they just have one video that blows up and all of a sudden they're a household name. That does happen, but it's extremely rare, and usually they die off pretty fast. So I would definitely say if you have like a really good idea for a video or a concept or a TikTok or something like that, don't even bother pulling the trigger until you have a bunch of stuff to back that up, because otherwise it'll be a sharp spike and you'll die off real fast. Or sometimes a really good idea won't be pushed by the algorithm because you already don't have enough of a following, and then you wasted your good idea. So make sure that you can maintain that level of entertainment. So if you have like, this $1 million joke or something like that, not enough, not going to do it. You need like a whole slew of things, and people who, usually are like funny or intelligent have an easier time with this. Like if you look at like stuff like Vsauce, not only is he like really well spoken, but he also he throws in some good jokes. And obviously all influencers don't revolve around comedy, but it seems to be the most potent thing to use as far as I can tell when I look at YouTube. Obviously there's examples that contradict that, but more often than not. Being funny is kind of the move. But if you do find that you are not naturally that sociable and well-spoken, but you think, well, I'm going to be able to write these scripts, that's fine and dandy. That is a lot of work, and I think it's going to be a lot harder than most people expect. But you also have to be able to present it in a good way. It's like delivering a joke or telling a story. There are good storytellers, there are bad storytellers. And it's like being a good storyteller doesn't really seem to be something that is easily learned. It's more so like, for me, my mom's side of the family are all funny and they all tell really good stories. And being like a child and growing up around that, at an early age, I knew that I wanted to tell jokes and tell stories well. So that's what I did. It was like sort of ingrained in me. And if you haven't been doing it for, most of your life, I feel like it'd be a pretty hard thing to get a grasp on. But I'm sure it can be learned. To me, it just sounds like it would be very difficult to jump on. But of course, there is the ultimate gambit sacrifice of how to make it as an influencer, and that is sacrificing all your pride and dignity and going one of the, I don't even know what to call these routes, these messing with other people, pranking people, being a shitty person, or saying really dumb, controversial things, or intentionally being extremely cringy because you know it's going to get clicks, or being cringy and not letting other people know that you're in on it being cringy. And yeah, you're going to get views, but I mean, I guess it's sort of like if someone told me, hey, you can make a living, but you have to go online every single day and call yourself an idiot for an hour. Yeah, I would definitely do that. That sounds pretty easy. And to me, that's sort of the cringe route, but I know that's not for everyone. And if you can't deal with hate comments, or regardless of what genre you choose to do, you're going to get hate comments. It doesn't matter. There's not a person in this world who doesn't have a bunch of people who doesn't like them. And I think it's important to remember that haters is not even a real thing. There's only people who don't like what you do. They're not people who just like wake up and just like, I'm going to talk shit on everything today. No, they just specifically don't like you. And that's okay, because there's things that you specifically don't like. And you got to learn to just brush that shit off. So if you have thin skin, that's another thing that you definitely probably shouldn't do this, because if you take anything personal from a stranger, you're going to be bummed, because people are going to try to say things. They're going to try to get under your skin. They're going to try to learn things about you to really create the ultimate insult. And you just got to learn to just roll with that, because in my opinion, a lot of it's really funny, because a lot of times the insults that I get are true. So it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do about that? It's facts. So like, you just have to like be like, yeah, that's the way things are. I don't know. And to me, that doesn't really bother me. And I know for a lot of people, it can get under their skin. So make sure that you have sort of that prepared as well. Because I have seen people go on the track of they're making decent videos, and then they let the people who don't like them dictate the kind of content that they make. And the next thing you know, they're making shit content, or they're making content for the 15 people that don't like them instead of the thousands of people that already like them. So it's definitely one of those things where like, if you can do this, I understand that there is sort of this like lame aspect of like, oh, being an influencer, like, who do you think you are? You think people want to listen to you? Well, if people do want to listen to you and you can actually make money off of it, I highly suggest doing it if it doesn't like compromise who you are or how you feel about yourself. Because I literally, this is me. I mean, this video is probably not going to make any money, because on my second channel, that's not going to probably do anything. But me doing this on my other channel about skateboarding and hanging out with my friends does pay my bills. And even if it only lasts as long as it has already been, that is a year and a half of me, as far as I'm concerned, not having a job. Like, I don't actually work. I live my life. I do an hour of editing each night, and it's way better than winning the lottery, because instead of having relatives, try to hit me up for money, they're just hitting me up to message their friends that watch my channel, which has only happened twice, but it's pretty funny. And that is also one of the other negative downsides. And this is one of the things that actually does get under my skin. Not under my skin, but I'm not a huge fan of. And that is just interacting with people in real life when they put you on a pedestal, when you know you don't belong on a pedestal. Like, I'm literally just skating with my friends, but people see you on, whether it's TV or their computer, and there's automatically this like kind of shove to get you onto a pedestal. And having someone talk up to you really is uncomfortable, because I always try as hard as I can to sort of like level the playing field, but also that takes some energy, that takes a good bit of conversation. And a lot of times you don't feel like being in a conversation with someone you haven't met yet, not because you're ungrateful, but because you might end up doing it a good bit, or you just don't feel like talking to anyone at that point in time. But I always try to talk to the people who are stoked on me or watch my channel or give me any sort of compliment. But it does get not exhausting as much as like, it's almost intimidating. Like I want people to talk to me like I'm a person who just happens to have a YouTube channel, not a YouTuber or an influencer or anything like that. But that's just sort of the way that it is. And I can kind of relate to it because when I first moved to California and I met my first pro skater, it was very much like, oh, how do I talk to this person without making them uncomfortable? And that's just sort of puts a weird skew on the conversation when one person's already overthinking it. Either which way, that's, in my opinion, the only thing that I don't love about it. But at the exact same time, I've met so many rad people that like either watch my channel, who know about my channel, or who are fellow creators. And yeah, it's pretty sick. It's definitely more often than not that I go to the skate park and I will meet someone and I just get along with them just fine because the content that I make is pretty genuine to me. So it usually attracts people who are like-minded as me, and we can just pick up on conversations that I either talked about in one of my videos or just something else involving something that they assume that I care about because of what they've heard me say in the past. And that's pretty sick. So if you're well-spoken, you're pretty creative, you have a plethora of good ideas, it could be for you. It could be the move. But even having all of that in place, you still need to have your foot in the door. My advantage was I am friends with someone who already had a successful YouTube channel, and people already knew about me in the YouTube world to an extent. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't start off with 0 subscribers. I started off with, I think, like 400 subscribers, which is a huge advantage because the first, 100 subscribers are usually pretty hard to get. I know one strategy is to reach out to other influencers as much as you can, use their face in clickbait, even if they don't respond. And yeah, that is a move. So if you're already trying to be, that kind of person right now and make a living off of whatever type of influencer thing that you're doing, don't be discouraged if it's taking too long. I just got really lucky and I started being able to make a profit in the first, I think it was a month and like 4 days. And that's a rare case. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I was better than anyone else or that I had the skill or that I'm well-spoken. It had to do with my circumstances and knowing people who did YouTube. So if you have friends that are influencers, that's the biggest influence right there. That's the biggest advantage. If you have that in your pocket and you have the other things that I talked about, you should definitely 100% do it because it'll happen pretty fast for you. My buddy Ray Corey, he recently just started and he's already murdering it. I think he's only a couple months deep and he already has a video that has over like 80,000 views or something like that. It can be done. More people can do it than they probably think, but it's not for everyone. And that's really all I have to say about it. I mean, hell, this channel right here that you're currently watching already has over 500 subscribers and I haven't even posted anything yet. So that's me using the momentum from my other channel to push over to here. So maybe watching this channel might be a good way for you to gauge what mistakes you should avoid and what things you should do, because you're gonna see in real time what works for my channel and what doesn't work for my channel. So that might be cool. Yes, I'm using the fact that I'm starting a new channel that it might fail as reason for you to watch my channel, which will make my channel succeed. But can't blame a guy for trying. I know that was a bit of a ramble, but I figured I was gonna go on a walk anyways and I wanted to film a video. 2 birds, 1 stone. If you have any ideas for things for me to do, by all means message me. That sounds fucking great, because I have a lot of ideas, but I also want to be able to do the things that my audience maybe already expect of me, because I know that the majority of people who watch this come from my other channel.
And now I'm back inside, so thanks for watching. And comment what I should do next. Comment anything.